we've pared it down a lot lately. But at the beginning of the whole pandemic, we had no idea how we were going to get inventory for our auction.
Mm-hmm.
There's a statewide closure in our state, so we couldn't even have customers come in to pick up their stuff or have customers come in to consign. So Travis and I were spending 16 hours a day each on eBay, just trying to
Wow.
get enough stuff to keep our auction going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what led to Travis driving around the country. Is like, well, we can find enough stuff on eBay to keep it going. Let's go out now and find some good deals.
Mm.
So that's kind of what led to that. But it's going to be really interesting to see how the market changes as things kind of hopefully open up next spring, to back to getting to kind of a return to normalcy. It's going to be really interesting to see how the market reacts to that. So, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these dealers, I mean, I've worked for two old school sports car dealers, the old curmudgeon types, and they get set in their ways where they see this market price for Zion Williamson, Zion Williamson at Prism 10, PSA 10 Prisms at selling for $650, and now they're back down to the 400 range. Well, they get set in their ways that they can't not sell that Zion Williamson because for 625, because that's how high it had gotten.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't willing to kind of adjust with the market. And so that's when they end up with having stale inventory, and that's where businesses kind of start to hurt, is when they're not able to kind of flow with the market. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully in the future, everything opens up, everybody's happy, makes a bunch of money, has good deals, and can collect whatever they want.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah.
And then I guess
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess is like the last question I kind of wanted to leave us at. Like, you guys have obviously made it a business. You guys are paying your bills doing this. Like, that's really, really awesome. To anyone out there that might be wanting to do something similar or on a smaller scale just because they love it, like, what tips do you have?
My biggest tip is spend all the money all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the number one. If you're not, so many people that I know in this business is like they want to have this cushion instead of having items. They
Mm-hmm.
want to have this, whatever their cushion is. Our threshold's very low. The account can be anywhere above $1, and I'm happy. If there's good stuff to buy out there that's worth more than the money, it in a business sense makes no sense to not own it. Not only that, but those things you're usually buying because you think they're even going up further. So you're buying them at a good deal. They're going up further. And what overwhelmingly happens with money since the beginning of time is it becomes worth less.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we took, a chunk of money we had. I don't know what it was in March. Maybe it was $100,000 worth of business liquidity, and we invested it and reinvested it and reinvested it week after week after week after week to have. We still have that amount of money, but we also have 15,000 really really good cards at PSA. We have thousands of cards at Beckett. We have, I have in front of me probably 2, 3, 4,000 graded cards sitting on my front counter right now.
God, that's
Um,
awesome. Take a picture. That's awesome.
Spend the money constantly. Don't worry about, because you own the items. The items are so easy to sell for what you thought was a good price. They're liquid. You can sell them anytime you need to. Spend the money, reinvest the money. Don't take a lot of money for yourself. Take the bare minimum until you feel like you've arrived. Obviously we
Yeah.
don't anticipate making what we're making now forever. There's going to be chunks of money we take for ourselves because
Yeah.
I need to buy a
We
house.
worked hard. We've never taken a single dollar. We take a normal person's salary, and other than that, we've never taken a single dollar. We take every dollar we reinvest in stuff.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and it's been hard for me because I'm a more conservative kind of saver type person. But I'm on board now. Like I'm fine. We spend every dollar we can that we don't have to give to an employee or to our rent. We spend every single dollar because it's just getting increasing your stuff. Like you buy stuff, and then you can buy a little bit better stuff and a little bit better stuff, and all of a sudden you eventually one day you get off the merry-go-round, and in theory you have a bunch of money or you have a bunch of really cool stuff. And I'm okay with either at this point, as long as like I can pay my bills and make sure that all my employees are paid. I'm happy just having either a bunch of money at the end or a bunch of really really cool stuff. And yeah, at this point, we every day we're like, well, maybe we shouldn't sell any of this stuff. Maybe we should just keep a bunch for ourselves. It's like,
Kind of hold
and
some
it's like,
possessions.
well, Yeah, but
Yeah.
right now it's like, well, we still have bills to pay, and Travis still, Travis is young, he still wants to buy a house and do all those fun things.
Mm.
I'm old, I've got my house, I I've done all those things, but now Travis needs to have his time in life. So,
Aw.
um, yeah,
Well, it sounds like what you guys are saying too is that instead of having the cushion, quote unquote, in cash that doesn't appreciate in value, and if anything goes down because of inflation, have the cushion in product that will potentially appreciate. Because, like you said,
yeah,
you can always move things, you can always liquidate what you need to for some
yeah. Find
cash.
stuff you believe in and just invest in it and go for it. Because there's no real savings accounts anymore that pay out good interest. I
Oh, yeah,
mean,
it's
you
terrible.
might as well you might as well just go buy a first edition Charizard instead of having a savings account. Is kind of my feeling. I'd rather have a case of Hidden Fates sitting in my closet than have the you know $600 it cost me. At the time, even if it had gone down a little, I still rather have the items and know that like I can sit there and sit on it and sell it at any time. I could sell it today for, well, today is obviously it would have been a good profit, but even if it had gone down a little bit, like I still had fun knowing I owned it and having taken the chance of something that went up a little than not having taken that chance at all. I would rather take a little bit of a risk. But I'm a gambler at heart, and I love this stuff. And
I was listening to this podcast maybe a week or two ago about a cryptocurrency guy in relation to Pokemon. And he said you didn't need to be a good investor, a smart guy. You didn't need to be heavily invested. If you had any kind of an exposure to cryptocurrency, you got rich. It didn't matter if
Mm-hmm.
you thought, I'm the smartest trader of cryptocurrency, or you made the worst decisions. You could have been the worst decision cryptocurrency guy and you got rich. And that's kind of how I feel Pokemon. I don't want to make everything sound like, hey, we're these geniuses that, spent $2 million on Pokemon in the last 6 months. Because we're like the top of the threshold. Like, I don't know if there's anybody that spent much more than we spent in the last 6 months on Pokemon. There may be, but the guys that have are buying the really expensive stuff that are like investment type pieces. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as raw cards and sealed product, I feel like we're definitely up there. But I don't want to make it sound like it takes a genius or somebody that really knows the market. Anybody that had exposure to the last 6 months in Pokemon, any exposure, you spent $100, you spent $500, you made good money on your investments. And if you're spending money now, it's probably going to be the same thing where you make good money on your investment. So running a business right now, you don't need to have the most good business sense. You really need to, if you believe in Pokemon, even bad business right now in Pokemon, if it continues to go up at even just an okay rate, we'll do fine. So it's that exposure to it is most important. You could be really bad at gauging. You could have overpaid for a PSA 9 Charizard in June at $9,000, right? And you still did fine. It's still worth $60,000 now. So if you really believe in Pokemon and it's your passion, just jump in, get a business license. You don't need to quit your day job. Get a business license, start being able to write off your costs, and then pay on your profits. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel like you need to be an expert or really business mind. If you really believe in Pokemon, just having the exposure to it's going to carry you far enough.